league. That's what we're talking about. The league. Hopefully next year they'll actually have a name for the league.
But this is the league. It's the league.
The league. It's the league. All right. Well, we made it to the playoffs. We talked about this team in the preseason. This league in the preseason. We talked about them in the middle of the season. Can't remember who we said was going to win it. But
I'm pretty sure I have a good idea who at least I picked. And they're 500 right now. So,
oh, I do remember. I'm pretty sure this is the league where. I think this was the league where Ryan and Zach did half the show without me, and then I jumped in halfway through. And all three of us talked about Snark, which was Mark's team.
Right.
Was going to be absolutely we actively made fun of Mark for how badly he drafted.
Oh, that's right. And then the midpoint was just me and you.
Yes.
And you mentioned that.
Well, at the midpoint, Mark was in first place. And at this point, he's also the number 1 seed.
He's also in first place. So I think you owe Mark an apology, sir.
We'll see what happens in the playoffs.
Some analyst you are.
I joined that one halfway through, and I was just riding. I was just going with whatever they said.
Right. You were like, well, I haven't been here for all this. So if you guys think he's good, or if you guys think he's bad, then he's bad.
Yeah, it's all their fault. All right. So what we're going to do, rather than going team by team, we're going to look at the matchups. And we're going to compare the matchups for week 15 side by side. And then, I'll go a little bit deeper into the team analysis as well. Obviously, we'll get to the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed as well. And we'll figure out who we think is going to win this league. Should be nice and easy.
It's not going to be Mark.
No, not at all. Mark sucks. All right. Let's start with the toilet bowl, with the teams that really actually suck.
Okay.
Let's do the 9th and 8th place teams.
Okay.
Total Carnage versus the Mud Dogs. I don't know if there's anything at stake for the toilet bowl in this league.
I don't know if there's like a punishment or anything like that.
I don't know. But it's the 9th versus the 8th team. The Mud Dogs is actually the commissioner. So why don't we start with Total Carnage? He's got quarterback. He's got Jalen Hurts, Alvin Kamara, Bucky Irving, Devontae Adams, Jaden Reed, Evan Ingram just declared out for the rest of the year, so we'll have to find a tight end. We got Zach Ertz on the bench, so we can start him. Devontae Smith, Jake Bates, Saints defense. On the bench, we got Baker Mayfield, Michael Pittman, Nick Westbrook, Akine, Zach Ertz, and your all-important backup.
Got to have that backup defense
with Josh Downs on the IR. Got it. And then why don't we go to the other side? We'll look at the Mud Dogs, Jaden Daniels, Kyron Williams, probably the only player who scored fantasy points last night. Tyrone Tracy, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Jonnu Smith, TJ Hawkinson, Big Dick Boswell, and Vikings defense on the bench is Sam Darnold, Nick Chubb, Tony Pollard, DeAndre Hopkins, and Mark Andrews. Thoughts on these teams?
Well, right off the bat, these teams are both 6 and 8, which is a testament to, kind of the parity in this league, I guess. I have to keep reminding myself that it's a 10-team league, because in a 12-teamer, I would think these two teams are pretty decent. I like the bench on Total Carnage, with the exception of the Arizona. And they're not even a good defense. I don't get that.
I know.
But yeah, so Mud Dogs heavily favored right now. Obviously, getting a tight end in there is going to bump up the projections a little bit and make it look a little closer. Thankfully, Mud Dogs also, like you said, dodged a bullet. Well, not dodged a bullet, but dodged the rest of the bullets in last night's game.
Yeah.
Because Kyron was the only person on that field worth having. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, two teams with 6 wins, being at the bottom of the standings, is still nothing to be, ashamed of. Obviously, it's a competitive league. What do you think?
I think we could get Tony Pollard in that lineup.
Yeah.
Get TJ Hawkinson out of there.
Well, Pollard's questionable, is he not?
Yeah, he is, but not seen practice. Okay, all right. Okay, well, if he plays, he's in. If not, well, then I guess he's not. All right.
Right.
I think the Mud Dogs will win this matchup. Let's go to the other toilet bowl matchup. That is, your favorite team.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, I think I know who you talking about. It's got to be that young. Oh.
That's right. They're going against Buffalo's finest. So we got Kyler Murray, Kareem Hunt, Aaron Jones, Puka Nacua, Drake London, Trey McBride, David Njoku, Young Wei Koo, of course, Buccaneers defense, and on the bench we got fraudulent Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, Cade Otton. Oh, not just backup defense, also the backup kicker. You wonder why these teams are in the toilet bowl? Jason Myers and Lions defense. On the other side is Patrick Mahomes, Joe Mixon, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jackson Smith, Jigba, Noah Gray, Garrett Wilson, Jake Elliott, the Titans defense. And we got on the bench Rashad White, Roman Dunze, Keon Coleman, Amari Cooper, and Dalton Kincaid. Buffalo's finest going to win this one.
Yeah, I think so too. Once again, I'm going to go back to the records again and saying, if you put this team in front of me, I probably would not correctly guess their record. And both these teams, I think, have suffered from inconsistency.
Yeah.
With the exception of, Mahomes hasn't been, typical Mahomes. And Jigba didn't turn it on until late. Noah Gray hasn't been anything to write home about till late. But Garrett Wilson, inconsistent. Rashad White, inconsistent now, sort of. Roma Dunze, Keon Coleman, Amari Cooper. Are you a Bills fan?
Well, their name is Buffalo's finest, so I think that would be a pretty safe bet.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm the genius. But yeah, they and it's the same thing on the other side. McLaurin and Samuel, who could have seen that, not that McLaurin's been awful, but he's been inconsistent. But that's the way it's going to be with a rookie quarterback. Deebo Samuel is one of the busts of the year.
Yeah.
And his game last night certainly didn't help, but at least he's on the bench here.
All right, let's move on to the actual matchups that matter. Let's start with why don't we start with the 6 versus 3 seed? This is Cool Joe with Laporta's Big Johnsons and chasing championships on the other side with Mike Pie 716. So on Laporta's Big Johnsons, we got Jordan Love at quarterback, Chase Brown at running back. We got James Cook, Justin Jefferson, Zay Flowers, Sam Laporta, Keenan Allen, Kaimi Fairbairn, and the Broncos defense. Plus, we got Pacheco on the bench, Jalen Warren, Zach Charbonnet, George Pickens, Hunter Henry. And we got J.K. Dobbins on IR. You want to start with that team, and then we'll kind of work our way over.
Yeah, sure. Jordan Love, is not my favorite, but he's been good. This team definitely benefited from Chase Brown turning it on after the Moss injury. And James Cook, who's going to be on a lot of championship teams this year. Can't go wrong with Justin Jefferson. You can go wrong with Zay Flowers. I'm not a fan. But I don't know if that's just me. Laporta's been nothing to write home about. Keenan, inconsistent. Kaimi Fairbairn's one of the better kickers. And I would guess that a bunch of times this season, the Denver defense bailed this team out.
Yeah.
Because they've scored double digits in, I think, like 75% of their games.
10 times. 10 out of 13.
10 out of 13. There you go. So if they've had them all year, then they're hoping that defense is going to win the championship. On the bench, got Pickens.
Yep.
Which is
but...
nice, even though he's not playing this week. So if he
might be done.
And Charbonnet, who probably is, and if Charbonnet plays,
he's in there. We got to get him in there.
You got to get him in the lineup.
Well, that's it's not a Charbonnet plays. It's if Kenneth Walker's out.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So, not bad. I'm not crazy about the bench, but they look like a playoff team. They deserve to be a playoff team. And their good pieces are very good.
Great analysis. I love the bench.
Fuck you.
I do like the bench though, with Pacheco and Charbonnet. I like to have running backs on my bench. No. Jordan Love, I mean, they're just not letting him throw the ball enough. Really, because earlier in the season, he was throwing the ball a lot, and he was, scoring like a top 10 fantasy quarterback pretty consistently when he was healthy. Just the last, so ever since that groin injury, it's been like, 20, 25 pass attempts per game. It's just not enough, to get him, the fantasy points that he needs to really make a difference. I mean, I don't hate having him in the starting lineup. I'm not that worried in a single quarterback league. I'm not that worried about, the quarterback position. I want to smash a running back and wide receiver. And I think we have a chance to smash it running back and wide receiver here. But like you said, there's some inconsistencies. James Cook, in the fantasy points party of the year, James Cook scored less than 5 points. So that's concerning for me. Now he's going against the Lions this week, who are one of the tougher run defenses in the NFL. See if we'll get a bounce back.
He always seems to have a shot at the end zone, though, every game. And
yeah,
that's what I want out of a running back.
Right. And that's what makes him inconsistent, though, is that, he doesn't always get that touchdown.
Right.
Either going to go, somehow Josh Allen's going to just take it in one way or another. And same thing with Zay Flowers. I love Zay Flowers. It sounds like you don't really, but
I don't.
The inconsistency is definitely something, you have to deal with him as well, but he gives you those spike weeks. He has a couple, 30-point weeks, 20-point weeks. Hopefully he can get that. I'm not counting on that this week against the Giants. I think it's going to be more of a Derrick Henry game. And then next week, you got a tough matchup against the Steelers, which last time they played, he caught 2 balls for 39 yards. So I'd be a little bit worried about Zay Flowers over the next couple of weeks, but he's not somebody I feel comfortable taking out of the lineup, especially considering he's in a wide receiver spot. Unless George Pickens is back, he's staying in the lineup.
Yeah.
I would like to get Charbonnet in there because it does sound like Kenneth Walker is going to be out. Get him in there for Keenan Allen. Or James Cook, but the thing is with Charbonnet playing on Sunday Night Football, we might not know until 7 o'clock that night, whether or not Kenneth Walker is playing. And you got Keenan Allen, who plays on Monday Night Football, so he'd be an easy pull. But Keenan Allen's another one that he's been hot lately. Caleb just played against the Vikings a few weeks ago and played well. He put up 340 passing yards. And Keenan Allen, he put up over 23 fantasy points in that game against that same team. But, he also gives you 3 points once in a while as well. I would like to start Charbonnet if we can.
Yeah, I mean, I even consider, and I know that I'm definitely biased here, but I'm biased against the Baltimore passing game in general, and being able to rely on those guys. I might even consider Keenan Allen for Flowers and putting Charbonnet at flex.
That's fair. I wouldn't push too hard against that at all, actually. Yeah, especially with you expect the game environment. You know what? I might actually endorse that.
Yeah.
With the game environment, the Giants game is going to be Derrick Henry. It's going to be Derrick Henry.
Right.
There's not going to be a lot of incentive for Lamar to drop back.
Yeah, that game's going to be like an hour and a half long. There's just that clock is just going to keep running.
Whereas at least Bears Vikings has a chance to be the opposite. I don't know if the Bears offense can keep up with the Vikings offense, but at least we can expect a lot of points from the Vikings offense, especially because it's in Minnesota in the Dome, where, Caleb Williams and the Bears are going to be forced to throw the ball, play from behind. That's going to lead to some volume. He leans on Keenan Allen a lot.
Yeah, and the Bears secondary is good. So, there's a possibility that they play a little bend but don't break. Allow points to Minnesota, but maybe a couple times they hold them to a field goal instead of a touchdown, and then we've got a much closer game than you'd expected. And somebody like Keenan Allen, who runs those mid-range routes, could really benefit from that.
I know we're not benching Justin Jefferson, but in that same game, we do have Justin Jefferson, and just a couple of weeks ago when they played in Week 12, Justin Jefferson caught 2 passes for 27 yards. You got the full Jalen Johnson treatment.
Mm-hmm.
I would temper my expectations for him this week. Let's move to the other side for chasing championships. This is the number 3 seed. They're 8-6. They're quarterbacked by Tua Tagovailoa. We got Bijan Robinson at running back along with Devon Achane, Jamar Chase, Jerry Jeudy, Jake Ferguson, Isaac Guarendo, and then Dicker the kicker and the Jets defense. And then on the bench is Brock Purdy, Cortland Sutton, Jameson Williams, Pat Freiermuth, and the Eagles defense with Chris Olave on IR. So first thing that stands out to me is I really would like to find a way to get Cortland Sutton in the lineup. I think we gotta bump Jeudy. We gotta put in Cortland Sutton. He's been on an absolute tear over the last 7 weeks. He's got a good matchup against Colts. I have very little interest in playing Jerry Jeudy ahead of Cortland Sutton. Do you disagree with that?
I like what Judy's doing lately, especially with the Browns playing from behind all the time. But I'm a huge Cortland Sutton fan, and Indianapolis's pass defense is so rotten that it feels like he's almost a must start.
Yeah, no, I agree. And just with how well Sutton has been playing, Nix has been playing, plus the matchup as you mentioned, I really got to get him in there. I trust him far more than I trust Jameis Winston and Jerry Jeudy against a tough Chiefs defense, which we've talked about it before, but the Chiefs don't blow teams out. They don't get out to big leads and score a bunch of points. What they do is if, the Browns seem like they're going to score 15 points today, then we're going to score 16 points today.
Right.
If the Browns seem like they're going to score 30 points today, then we're going to score 31 points today.
Right.
That's how the Chiefs play. So I don't expect that game to be high scoring. I don't expect the Browns to be trailing. I think what they're going to do is they're going to try to lean on the run game. I know it's a pretty bad run game, but Chiefs are a tough run defense, but they're going to try to keep Mahomes on the sideline. They're not going to throw the ball 500 times in this game. I don't think.
Right.
It's going to be a low scoring game for that team.
Well, I don't think they're going to throw it 500 times either. I think.
Yeah, probably not 500. Maybe 400, but not 500.
Yeah, I just it's a good problem to have. How about that?
Wait, are there 2 Monday night games this week?
Yes.
Oh.
And one of them is the Raiders and
the Falcons. That's why because I was seeing Bijan Robinson playing on Monday Night Football, and then on the other side we got Keenan Allen.
I love the fact that the committee drives me nuts. The Raiders and Falcons are on Monday Night Football, but Detroit and Buffalo are playing Sunday afternoon.
Yeah,
because that makes sense.
I don't know. Is one of these games on like ESPN Plus, something stupid like that?
Probably.
I hate that shit. All right. Anyway, I think we're shaky. I think we're shaky at Ferguson. Otherwise, I think we're pretty solid here. Who do you think is going to win this matchup?
As you were going down the list, chasing championships is it's a really good team.
Yeah.
Especially if obviously you can't count on it, but if Jamar Chase keeps putting up 40, then everybody else can have a big problem. But yeah, I will take chasing championships in this matchup.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it'll be fairly close. It could come down to those 2 Monday Night Football games. Keenan Allen, Bijan Robinson on the other side. I'm always going to give the edge to Bijan Robinson. I think chasing championships wins this one probably by less than 20 points.
Yeah, I think chasing championships would have felt a lot more comfortable if Guerrero had a better game on Thursday. If he'd have put up 80 yards and a touchdown, plus a couple catches. But it's still, I think Laporta's Big Johnson's dodged a little bit of a bullet there.
I agree. All right, let's move on to the other. How about the 4th and 5th teams going against each other? So in the 4th seed, we got the Isotopes, and on the other side, the 5th seed, we got the Muscle Hamsters. The Isotopes are quarterbacked by Lamar Jackson. We got Derrick Henry. We talked about it's going to be a Derrick Henry game this week. Josh Jacobs, AJ Brown. I'm liking this team. Malik Neighbors, Tucker Kraft, DK Metcalf, Will Lutz in the Ravens defense. On the bench, we got Najee Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, the other B-Rob, Brian Robinson, Marvin Harrison Jr., and the Bills defense. What stands out to you? For me, it's the Jackson, Henry, Jacobs stack.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Because if Henry is having a Henry game,
he's gonna have a Henry game.
Then I worry about what Jackson is contributing there.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, maybe Derrick Henry runs for 250 yards, but they get to the 1 yard line and they run it in with Lamar Jackson.
Right.
Although he's not really a 1 yard runner, but he's no Jalen.
No. Obviously you're gonna get. I guess on the upside is you're gonna get all the touchdowns that the Ravens score.
Yeah, there should be a lot of them.
You're either gonna get them through the air from Lamar or on the ground, unless they really pull some weird stuff out of a hat. Justice Hill ends up with a touchdown.
Keaton Mitchell goal line back.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs, I love. AJ Brown, I've said it before. I will say it again. I always fade A.J. Brown in the fantasy playoffs.
Apparently, so does Jalen Hurts.
I fade, and I fade Jalen Hurts too. We'll see if that changes a little bit now that they have Barkley to keep teams guessing. And Metcalf, I thought was going to blow up last week and didn't really.
Metcalf has been overtaken by Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, he has. It's a good team. It's a good team, and he's got pretty good guys on the bench to plug in if there's an injury. I don't love Marvin Harrison Jr., but if you were forced into something, you've got him. But having the 3 bonus running backs is certainly nice. But yeah, it's a deep team, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I haven't looked at the other side yet, but I have a hard time believing that this team's going to lose this week. But let's look at the Muscle Hamsters, who are favored in this game according to Sleeper.
Okay, I'm gonna before we get down their team line, I'm pretty sure at the midway point of the season, this was my pick.
Okay, we should have.
I think Muscle Hamsters were my pick.
I usually go back and listen to the end of it to see who we picked, but I forgot to do that.
Yeah, me too. Maybe it's because it's 11:30.
Probably. All right, Josh Allen overrated apparently according to the nickname here at quarterback, but he's riding him to a 5th place finish. So how about James Conner at running back, Chuba league winner Hubbard at the other running back spot? We got T. Higgins, CeeDee Lamb, Travis Kelce, DJ Moore, Justin Tucker, Commanders defense, and then on the bench we got Travis Etienne, Kenneth Walker, a man named Sincere McCormick, Ladd McConkey, Jalen Waddle, and Dallas Goedert on the IR spots. Yeah, this is another really strong team. Definitely a very deep team.
I'm almost sure this is who I picked to win the league.
I can see why. It's looking good. It's looking really good. I mean, Jalen Waddle, 2 of the last 3 weeks have been over 100 yards. He's back. He's so back. I hope we can get Ladd McConkey back.
Yeah, and especially because I would prefer Ladd or Walker over DJ Moore in this lineup.
Yeah.
And I think Ladd still might play, right?
Yeah, there's definitely a chance he plays. And man, it's such a good matchup if he does against the Buccaneers. They have been absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And on the other side, it helps that their offense is actually good too. So they score a lot of points, which makes their opponent have to throw the ball a lot more to keep up with them.
Yeah, I for the same reason that I mentioned Keenan Allen earlier, if they keep the game reasonably close, for Caleb to do a little more like dink and dunk instead of going for the home run ball is also it's because it's Blitz-a-soda. You know what I mean? They're gonna come for the rookie. And I don't know what their matchup was like last time, but I can't remember.
340 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Okay. But see, that's why I don't really like DJ Moore here, because they're going to put such pressure on Caleb and he needs a little more time to find DJ. So, like Keenan Allen, I have confidence that he can still perform well, even in that situation. DJ Moore, I can see totally putting up a donut.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna put up a donut, but that's why I would much rather see McConkey in there.
I mean, he's got 24 targets over the last 2 weeks. I think they're trying. I think what they're trying to do with DJ Moore is I've seen them throw a lot of screen passes to him lately because they are just trying to get the ball in his hands. Right. Whereas before, for reasons that you mentioned, they weren't able to get him the ball as much. Just because of the issues with Caleb and the offense and offensive line. So now they're just like, you know what, we're just going to give him easy stuff, which can give you volume for PPR purposes, but the yardage, the touchdowns aren't necessarily as likely in those, in that usage.
And this year DJ is not as healthy in yards after the catch either as he's been in the past. He's kind of pulling a Mike Evans, which is, you catch the ball and fall down.
Okay. I don't know if he's quite that poor after the catch this year, but I have to look at the numbers, I guess. Travis Kelce. What do you expect from Travis Kelce?
Travis
speaking of
Kelce
inconsistency.
He always turns it on late. He's still been like the tight end 3 this season, tight end 4. I don't remember exactly, but the problem is he hasn't.
Or just sleepers, tight end 5.
Tight end 5. Okay, but he hasn't found the end zone. I think that changes this week probably.
Against the Browns, yeah.
If there is a time to really want Travis Kelce, it's when you're a playoff team, and they're going to be playing for seeding and making sure not to, cede any wins to somebody else at the very end of the season, and that is when Mahomes goes to Kelce over and over and over again.
Chuba Hubbard, league winner?
Yeah, probably. I can't remember. I looked at their schedule the other day.
It's beautiful. It's
yeah.
It's Cowboys, Cardinals, Bucks.
Yeah, and you know what? And dude just got paid, and he earned that, man. Because he had no respect coming into the season because he was pretty inefficient last year. But he had no respect, and now look at him.
And that's going to turn out to be a decent deal for the Panthers now that they've lost Jonathan Brooks. We're not going to see him on a football field until 2026, most likely.
I agree. People were like, well, it'll only take this long for him to heal up, so he'll be back at the end of next year. And I'm like, oh, like he was back at the end of this year.
Yeah, I remember.
Which he obviously wasn't ready.
He's going to be ready for training camp. Oh, wait. Well, I guess maybe week 1. You know what? Actually, we're going to keep him on PUP. He'll be back week 3 or week 4. And we got him, week 12?
Right. And then we're not going to
3 weeks.
We're not going to activate the window.
And now they're going to be extra cautious because he just retore it.
Yeah. So this was my pick at midseason, and of the teams we've seen so far right now, it's still my pick. Obviously, we have not looked at the bye teams yet. The bench is just nasty good. And I don't like DJ Moore in there if you can get McConkey. And it's another situation, or Walker. It's another situation where you could even put Walker in at flex, and then if he's not good to go Sunday night, then you could put DJ Moore in.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
But I would prefer McConkey over both.
Yeah, I agree. If we have a healthy McConkey against that Bucs defense
against Tampa Bay, so if McConkey plays, he needs to be in there.
All right, let's move on to the number 2 seed, Red Solo Cup. We talked about dodging bullets from last night's game. The bye week was massive for this team because we got a donut from Cooper Kupp. But let's start at the top. We are quarterbacked by Jared Goff. We got Breece Hall, Jahmyr Gibbs, Cooper Kupp, Jordan Addison, Brock Bowers, Nico Collins, kicker Brandon Aubrey. Seahawks defense on the bench, we got CJ Stroud, Braylon Allen, DeAndre Swift, Darnell Mooney, and Wan'Dale Robinson.
Seahawks playoffs.
What stands out to you about this team?
I remember
it doesn't feel as strong as some of the teams we just looked at.
I remember this I remember this team. There's a reason it doesn't seem as strong, and that is they've allowed, quote unquote, easily the fewest point in the league. So they've gotten some bounces that have gone their way. Because only 1,700 points have been scored against them, and the next best is like 1,850. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't find the team for a second there because I was just looking at the matchup screens. Goff is always great to have in the fantasy playoffs. Breece Hall, big question mark. I still
He might be done.
Yeah, I think he's probably done. But I got to remember who you said was on the bench here because
We got Braylon Allen.
Okay, well, you got Braylon Allen, so that's good. I don't know that it's that much a problem that Breece Hall is possibly done because he's been so inconsistent. It's been maddening. I have him on numerous teams.
Yeah, he was underwhelming anyway.
Yeah. So, and a lot of that is Aaron Rodgers' fault because Aaron Rodgers keeps checking out of the run. But yeah, Cooper Kupp dodged a bullet because you didn't have to play. Jahmyr Gibbs is great. Addison is on. You and I both feel the same way about Addison, and he's on a tremendous hot streak right now, regardless. Neither one of us like him, but he is. I don't know how he keeps doing it. Well, actually, I do. Justin Jefferson.
Sam Darnold.
Brock Bowers, awesome. Nico Collins. This is the interesting thing about Miami. Miami is really good at keeping wide receivers out of the end zone, but they still give up the yards. I'm pretty sure I've got Nico ranked 4th this week overall in wideouts. So to have that guy in your flex spot is pretty awesome. And then Stroud, I'm not going to use for anything. Braylon Allen, that's good insurance on Breece. Swift, I just still don't know with that guy.
Brutal playoff schedule for DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, for Chicago in general. Because even their pass catchers have a rough time too. Yeah, bench. I'm not really impressed with. So hopefully there are no more injuries. But as far as the starting lineup goes, if you switch Braylon Allen out for Breece Hall, or whichever one is right there, I can see it's a tough team. But I don't think it's as strong as the Muscle Hamsters.
No. I mean, this team's, they need. I mean, obviously, here's the thing: we got 3, studs on this team that can pick up the pieces and carry this team to the championship. It's possible. We got Jahmyr Gibbs, who's got the easiest schedule for running backs in the fantasy playoffs. We got Brock Bowers, who is just eating targets.
It doesn't matter who he plays.
I know. Well, now
the guy's a fucking unicorn.
Well, now we might get the test with Desmond Ridder. And then we got Nico Collins. These 3 can all put up massive weeks and stack them over the next 3 weeks and carry this team. So you just need the supporting cast to step up. And like we mentioned the last couple of weeks, Jordan Addison has stepped up. Cooper Kupp, not last night, but I still think Cooper Kupp's going to give us a couple of good weeks over the next few. Jared Goff, I know he's got a tough schedule as far as passing defenses go, but I think he'll still get you there.
Yep.
And Braylon Allen, should be fine for you. The Jets have a pretty easy schedule for running backs. So whether you have Breece Hall or Braylon Allen, you'll get some decent production there as well. I do do think we can drop CJ Stroud and Wan'Dale Robinson and go pick up some more contingent upside running backs like I always talk about. I've tried to hold off on talking about that on this show because I talk about it all the time. But we can still have Ray Davis, Trey Benson, Kamani Vidal, other, those types of running backs on the waivers in this league. I would pick up those guys and stash them just in case. You never know. I'd rather have, that contingent upside over, a Stroud or Wan'Dale. These guys who you're never going to start over the next 2 weeks. Why even roster them at this point?
Yeah, and you probably only need that one extra wide receiver.
Right. Yeah, Mooney's a good guy to have on the bench just in case he can put up some week for you.
I agree. Yeah, it's a strong team. I'm just not floored by it.
Yeah, no, I agree. This team could be bounced in the divisional round or whatever you call it.
It could, but it could also win.
Yeah,
this team could win though.
Exactly. I think that, like I said, they're going to rely on those three, top pieces, and hopefully the supporting cast comes and shows up. And if that happens, they'll be tough to stop. But if it doesn't happen, they're going to fall flat on their face.
Interestingly enough, and I might be lying, I'm pretty sure, because remember how long it took Brock Bowers to get his first touchdown? I'm pretty sure Desmond Ridder threw that.
I'm pretty sure you are lying.
I think I'm right.
Right.
I think I'm right. I'm gonna look that up.
Well, I was gonna look it up too, but
I'm not gonna do it right now.
Well, you keep talking because I'm gonna find out for you. No, there's no way, because his first receiving touchdown came in week 5. And Desmond Ridder was still a Cardinal at that point. Desmond Ridder didn't show up until like November.
What?
Yes, Desmond Ridder was like the practice squad quarterback for the Cardinals.
You're out of your mind.
Hold on, I'm gonna find out for you right now.
Okay, well, I'm gonna open up.
Please do.
Horrible Mark's team.
All right. Yeah, Mark sucks. Do we even want to talk about him?
Horrible Mark. Who?
I got the answer.
Huh?
The first touchdown thrown to Brock Bowers came in week 5 against the Broncos from the arm of
Desmond Ridder.
Gardner Minshew.
Damn it.
Which is essentially Desmond Ridder.
Right. It's Desmond Ridder with a mustache.
Ridder with long hair.
International man of mystery.
All right. Talk about the number 1 team.
Okay. Mark, you suck, man. You are the only team in this league. Oh, I'm sorry. One of 2 teams in this league to have scored over 2,000 points this year. Let's see how you did. It. Well, Joe Burrow is a good start. Because that mofo and Saquon Barkley, oh my God.
We hated this team.
Who picked this team to finish last?
I don't know. Maybe there was a trade at some point. I don't know.
Okay, Burrow and Barkley, that right, and Taylor. Burrow, Barkley, and Taylor right now, if he just ran that out every week, he'd probably have a first round bye.
I think we hated the Barkley Taylor start of the draft.
Yeah,
if I remember, he drafted like Tony Pollard in the 4th round or something. Maybe not, because I don't see Tony Pollard on this roster. But I
gotcha. So he's got Juwan, who is starting to come through, but still a little inconsistent, like most of the 49ers. Although once again, this is another team that used that bye to their advantage. I saw an argument on Twitter yesterday that was, for all of you people complaining about how bad that game was, you just should have worked harder to get a bye.
Yeah, exactly. I made a video this week predicting the league winners for the.
What? Did you freeze?
Did you lose? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
I can now.
How about now?
Are you? Oh, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I don't know what I was saying. Oh,
You just did a wait. Somebody. I don't know how.
So I made a video this week predicting the league winners for each position for the fantasy playoffs over the next 3 weeks. Guys are just going to smash week 15, 16, 17. One of the wide receivers I chose was, I said Juwan Jennings, but I didn't even say pencil in Juwan Jennings as a league winner. I said write it in permanent marker because Juwan Jennings is going to absolutely smash all 3 of these weeks. Yeah. Hopefully nobody watches that one.
Two completions, 7 incompletions.
9 targets.
Yeah,
Good
I mean,
process.
targets is great.
Process over results.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Rico Dowdle could be a league winner this year.
So could Adam Thielen.
I just is this upside down world? Like
I know.
But see, Adam Thielen's done this before, and he's good for about 4 or 5 games of it, and then his old legs get tired.
This guy doesn't even have a kicker, and he's still the number 1 seed. He showed us.
Kicker schmicker. Chargers defense is good. They're going to make it hard on Tampa Bay, although Tampa Bay is still going to put up some points. Brian Thomas Jr. on the bench. Calvin Ridley, Jacoby Myers. So the opposite of the guy that had all the running backs.
Yeah.
Mark Scott, Thomas Ridley, Jacoby, Khalil Shakir, Isaiah Likely, who, if you don't have Mark Andrews, I don't think you need him.
Yeah, no, I was going to say the same thing. I think we can drop Isaiah Likely, go stash one of those running backs I mentioned earlier.
And you, at some point, they're going to make you take Hollywood Brown off the IR because they're probably going to activate him in the next 2 weeks. Just drop him.
Yeah. He's
just
going to give you nothing.
You want no part of that. Trust me.
No. But yeah, this team, I mean, the bench receivers are good. Yeah. Never mind the starting receivers. I mean, we got, Brian Thomas. Unfortunately, he's quarterbacked by Mac Jones at this point, but we got Calvin Ridley, who's been hot since the DeAndre Hopkins trade. Jacoby Myers is just commanding targets at the highest of levels right now.
Yeah, well, there's hardly anybody else there. I mean, You've got Trey Tucker, but he's not going to get nearly the targets that Myers is.
That offense right now is Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, and a man named Sincere. That's it. Right. Nobody else is scoring fantasy points.
Right.
And Khalil Shakir is fantastic in the Josh Allen offense. I mean, but drop Isaiah Likely.
I love Shakir this week. I like several of these guys this week. I tell you what, I know that Thielen could be a league winner, and you probably can't bench him against Dallas. But if he was playing anybody else, I would have Thomas in the game. Only because I was surprised by the number of targets that Thomas is still getting with Mac Jones, regardless of whether they're awesome targets or not. At least it's not just they try to throw him a bomb and then go away from him.
Yeah, that's fair. But Adam Thielen is getting awesome targets. He's got 21 over the last 2 weeks.
Right.
I think we're gonna ride Adam Thielen. He's got 3 great matchups in the playoffs.
This week for sure.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because he's not playing anybody.
Oh, right.
He's that good. He's so bad that he's so good. He
Uh,
doesn't even have to play anybody.
yeah, dude. I mean, this is a pretty awesome team. I mean, honestly, Jonathan Taylor should be having an even better season than he is, but it's just too bad that AR-15 blows chunks. So everybody's like, cool, get up on the line.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, if we were playing a matchup this week, you could make a case, I think a very compelling case, that Jonathan Taylor should be on the bench of this team. We start Rico Dowdle and we put one of these wide receivers in the flex spot.
Yeah, Denver's gotten a little more soft on the run lately, but they still have those games where nobody can run on them.
Right. And Jonathan Taylor is just, I mean, he scored 17 fantasy points last week, but the 2 previous weeks he combined for 10.5 points.
But that's also borderline tinkering too much. You know what I mean? It's when we say start your studs, we mean it.
I don't mean it. I mean it as in like Saquon Barkley's a stud. I don't think Jonathan Taylor's a stud.
Yeah.
In that environment, Jonathan Taylor is not scoring like a stud. He's what? The RB 28. He's RB 28. Jonathan Taylor is not one of your studs.
28?
28.
Wow.
Not a stud.
How the mighty have fallen.
Yes. And Anthony Richardson is part of that issue.
He would have lost his job to Zach Moss if Moss was still there.
I wouldn't go that far.
But I'll tell you what, it's a good team, and you've got a lot of options on Mark's team. I love the wide receivers on the bench for sure.
All right.
So 10-4, the other bye is 9-5. Championships are 8-6, and then the other 3 playoff teams are 500 at 7-7, and the 4 that missed the playoffs are all at 6-8.
All right. What do you got? Who is going to win this league?
They're not all 6-8. I forgot about the young ho, who's 4-10.
How could you forget?
I know, 4-10.
Well, before you predict who's going to win this league, who are going to be the final 2 teams? Who's going to play in the championship?
I am going to stick with my mid-season prediction. I think Mikey Moe and the Muscle Hamsters are taking this one home to mount on their wall. And I have to look at how it balances out, but I want to say they're going to play Mark and beat him.
Likely yes, unless Cool Joe wins this week, then they'd. Well, I mean they could play each other in the. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, who knows if they're going to play in the second round or the third round?
Okay, I will take Muscle Hamsters, probably over Mark, but I will take them way quicker over anyone else.
All right, I think
it's not Pothead or the Isotopes.
Okay, I think it's going to be in the championship round. It's going to be the 1 and the 2 seed. I think Muscle Hamster will win this week. They're going to get bounced by Mark in the second round, which Mark is going to go on to play Sammy, the Red Solo Cup, in the championship game. And Mark, I've been with you since day 1. You're going to win the title.
You have not been with him since day one.
I was just going along with Ryan and Zach. I don't want to make them feel bad.
But now, hold on. I'm a little confused here. Hold on 1 second. I'm taking all the drama out of the ending here. Oh, no, that's right. Okay. Yeah, Red Solo Cup is... I was thinking Red Solo Cup was the team that we said, I don't think this team is as good as some of the teams we've already been through. But that was Pothead.
Yeah.
AKA the Isotopes, I think.
I think so.
Okay, so you think Hamsters get bounced by Mark and Mark bounces Sammy for the championship.
That's right. Now, if Cool Joe ends up winning this week, that would make the Muscle Hamsters have to play Sammy in the second round, not Mark. In which case, Mark would beat the Muscle Hamsters in the championship. I think the Muscle Hamsters are the second best team in the league, is what I'm saying. They just can't get past Mark.
Yeah, if the Muscle Hamsters have to play Sammy, they're going to bounce him, and then they're going to put it all together in one final extraordinarily high-scoring affair and just send Mark home crying.
Okay.
He's going to be changing rules for next year and all kinds of good stuff. This is fun. Now I kind of like want these to be real games I can watch.
I know, right? Well, we will probably never know, but we will hopefully get a chance to check in with this league next season. And I think that's all we got.
Please, you know what? When this all plays out, send myself or Alex a message and let us know what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or you could also, if you really want to, you could order another episode and we'll do it like week 18, week 19 after the season's over. And I don't know what advice we could give you, but we'll have some fun looking at what happened.
For sure, man. Maybe somebody from the league will come on and talk. Right? We could do that.
Yeah, let's do some. Post-game interviews. We'll bring Mark on the show.
We'll have the champion come on, and maybe like the runner-up, or if we like somebody better, somebody else.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all we got. Hopefully,
that's what we got. That's what we got.
Soon.
Find us on X. Alex and I do a show Saturday nights with sleepers and streamers. If you guys need them, we also get together and do starts and sits on Sundays at about 12:15 on the YouTube channel, the other YouTube channel.
Link in the description.
Yeah, not personal pods, but the actual Yards Per Fantasy channel.
Yeah.
And you can get after him, A_JohnsonFF at twitter.com, or me at buy and sell you, all one word.
All right.
Catch up with us. Let us know how it went.
Let's go, Mark. Don't let us down, baby. Don't let us down.
Muscle Hamsters!